Hey, hello everyone. I'm just waiting on a few more people to join. Hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining today. Good evening, everyone. Let me see who we have here. I hope you can hear me loud and clear.
Yes, we can, Coach B.
Oh, thank you. Hello, Tosan. How are you? Thank you for joining. Bukola, I see you. Michelle, Temitope, Ako. Hi. It's good to see you. Mayowa is here. I see your name. Hello, Mayowa. How are you doing today?
Hi, good evening. Good to be here.
Thank you, Ako, for joining. It's great to see
I'm
you.
fine, thank you. Good evening.
Your voice is so unique. How have you been? How have you been?
Very good. Thank God. Very good.
Good, good, good. I was just trying to. There's something going on. I can hear it's like a replay going on. Sorry, guys. I just realized that the live streaming was interfering with the call, and then I had to go back to check that as well. Yeah, sorry about the wait.
Can you mute the lights by default? It might be unmuted, so it will be playing in audio. Just go back to the studio, studio there. Then we see.
Yeah, because all of a sudden I just started hearing everyone's voices all over again, and that sort of like set me back. Today's just special. First it started with the network, and then here we are. So, anyways, okay, so I think we're ready now. Sorry guys, some days are like that. I think we've got a sizable amount of people who have joined in. Did I see Folami here? Hello, Folami, how are you doing?
Hello, good evening. I'm back again.
Thank you for joining.
No
Thank you for
worries.
joining. So, let me start the recording. Right. So every one of you that have joined in today, I'm grateful to see you. I'm super excited. While we wait on a few more people to join in, I'll just quickly do an introduction of myself. My name is Patience Carew. I'm a certified money coach, and this is the what do I do with money coaching? I do your money habits and behaviors so that you can move towards better money decisions and ultimately live more intentionally and prosperously. And so in 2025, at the start of the year, I thought about how to create more content around what I teach and what I do with money coaching, and that's how we're able to birth the Mind Over Money series. And if you're just joining, or you've just come in contact with my content and work, you can catch the past recordings on YouTube on our page, Enlightened Money Coaching, or at Carew. And then you can also search for Carew on Instagram, and at Patience Carew on LinkedIn, to catch up on the content and the resources that I share every day on money mindset. Okay, so what happens with money coaching is there's a lot of patterns, there's a lot of behavior, emotions, a lot of psychological and physiological dynamics to your relationship with money. And money coaching brings awareness, it brings consciousness, it helps you see deep-seated worries, fears surrounding money, and the challenges of you detaching from your emotions, detaching from all those behaviors, and of course the impact that it's having on your financial life. And I'm here today to tell you that everything that you know about your finances is not enough. It's not all there is to know. There's also your relationship, there's also your psychological, your mental, your emotional, and different aspects to life, because money in and of itself has pervaded all our lives. So we cannot isolate money from all the areas of our life, all the different areas of our life. As you know, your life is not only your financial life. You have your spiritual life, you have your emotions, you have your family, your love relationship, your health, and money is in every part of your life. And so I'm super excited this evening to talk to you on a very interesting topic: how to ask for more confidently. Now, I refuse to put the money there just so that, any of you that don't want to deal with money would not. But of course, I will be talking on money. So how to ask for more money confidently. But you have to know that it's not enough to just focus on your financial life. There are other areas of your life that impacts your ability to ask for more, that impacts your ability, your capacity to earn what you truly deserve. Okay, so if we're just meeting, don't forget you can catch up on YouTube on the past series, and don't forget to like, to share, and to subscribe. Okay, and I'm sure that my team are on standby to put the link in the chat if you do not have them. And just a few housekeeping rules and we're good to go. So I want you to remember to stay muted, stay present, and stay engaged. Now, we also want to respect other people in here, other participants, and we want to keep an open mind. And the reason we want to do that is to create space for ourselves when we're sharing, or for others when they're sharing as well. And as you know, sometimes some certain words, phrases as we share can trigger some emotions inside of you. I want you to know that it's okay to sit with those emotions. It's okay to recognize them. I might be asking questions that might cause you to reflect. That is the essence of what money coaching looks at. It's about bringing awareness. It's about bringing consciousness to the things that are holding you back. Okay, and what we're going to get from today's session is how to shift our mindset and overcome fear around money conversations. We've been at this since January. We've touched on mastering your money mindset. We've touched on how to identify beliefs. We've touched on how to charge your worth, right, in the marketplace. And today we're talking about how to ask more confidently. So you find that it's a series of topics series that is going to help you, if you follow it, develop and build your muscles around your money relationship, around your money mindset, around your psychology around money. Okay, so today, how to ask for more confidently in a way that helps you unlock your earning potential. So I hope everyone is pumped up and ready to join me today. And I want to encourage you, let me spotlight myself. I want to encourage you to reflect on the questions that I will be asking. No. Yeah, this is good. Okay. So I want you to reflect on the questions I'll be asking, just so that you can start to become aware. because sometimes the right questions can cause you to become aware of patterns that you may not be aware of unconscious patterns, unconscious habits. And when I say patterns, I mean habits, I mean cycles of events that, go on in your life, okay? Around your financial life, around your emotions, around your health and all of that, right? Now, why this topic? Why am I touching on how to ask? In fact, a friend sent me a message that the next topic should be negotiation. So why am I focusing on how to ask? That's because asking is a very powerful thing. It's a very, is it an action word? Asking is a verb, right? So it's a very powerful act that many of us haven't really worked our muscles on. And I'm going to share on how this plays out for us. Okay. Now, learning how to ask, right, is not just asking for more money. It's you now becoming aware of your own strength, of your capacity. It goes beyond your salary. It goes beyond asking for money, financial resources. It goes beyond you thinking about your bank balance. It is your ability or your own inability to advocate for yourself. And then in advocating for yourself, there are different ways. And like I said earlier, there are different aspects of your life. You have your health, you have your relationship. How are you advocating for your time? How are you and I'm going to talk about advocate very soon. Just stay with me. How are you advocating for your health? Why you're not asking? Why we are not asking is because we worry many times that people will perceive us as vulnerable. So we struggle to ask for help because we fear that we might look incompetent. And there's a cultural undertone attached to that as well. Sometimes people perceive some sort of stigma when people come out vulnerably to say what their struggles are. And so all these little things stops us from asking. Asking for help can be very, very hard for people, many people. It might seem like, is it not just a simple request? Is it not just to open your mouth? And you hear people say that a closed mouth is a closed destiny. Yes, but how many people are able to ask in a way that helps them get the help and the support that they need? That's why we're here today. We want to shine the light on how we're showing up, how we're advocating for ourselves, how we are asking confidently in a way that expands the different areas of our lives and not restricts us, not constricts us in any way. Okay? Because what happens is we are okay helping other people. In fact, we feel all right helping other people ask, but ourselves. We feel we should support other people, but when it comes to ourselves, we feel that we should do it alone. And I'm speaking to a specific type of people here. I am speaking to a specific archetype here. If you have ever taken my money archetype quiz, good luck to you. If you have attended my money archetype masterclass, fantastic. Then you know what I'm talking about, right? Because this particular type of people always want to do things by themselves, because they fear what other people might think about them. And what this then does is it blinds you to the reality that you could have extra support. Now, behind that, what is masking in there is procrastination, is perfectionism. Many people don't realize all of that. And so even when you receive that help, it doesn't quite sit well with you. So what happens is the help comes. Even I see it sometimes in especially when my staff gets things done for me, I feel, oh, it's not perfectly done. She didn't do it, or he didn't do it the way that I would want. And then sometimes when people are trying to help us, we find ways to sabotage that help. It happens to everybody, like nearly everybody. Some people are good with people, but some people struggle with interpersonal relationships, social interactions. So you can imagine what it looks like asking for help. Because you then now start to experience guilt. You start to experience shame around around the challenges that you're experiencing or that you're going through, and then you don't want to seek the support that you need. What you need to know today is you need to become aware of the behavior. So what I want you to, as we move along very quickly, what I want us to do now is to look at ourselves, to go look inwardly and start to ask ourselves, or answer the questions that I'm going to be asking. What will happen if I ask for help? I want you to think about, let me look in the chat. What will happen if I ask for help? What will happen? Will I feel less than? Will I feel supported? What would happen? I want to open the chat so that I'm seeing the chat right there. So yes, I would like for every one of us to engage by putting our feedback, our feelings, expressing ourselves in the chat, so that we can get this as engaging and as interactive as we can. Okay, don't forget that when you share, some other people might get their own aha moments from just you sharing, right? Good. So what will happen to you if you ask for help? Will you feel supported? And if in the past, right, you have asked for help, and I know many of us here, many of you, have asked for help at some point in time, what happened when you did? What happened? So you start to think about these things, right? Who should you ask for help? Who? This question I'm asking, it sounds very funny, and I will share. I remember a certain time, I think it was a few weeks ago, I was going over a project that I wanted to, that I was thinking of rolling out. And of course, limiting beliefs came in my mind, when doubts started coming in. And then I thought, okay, I started to feel stuck. And then, of course, one of the benefits of being a coach or learning how to, help yourself is you have resources, and sometimes you're fully resourced to help yourself. So I asked myself certain questions, and one of the questions I asked myself was, who can help me? That project that was looking so massive, looking way above my, all of a sudden now I broke it down and I was able to write down over 20 people that will benefit from the project if and when I do launch the project. So you see that sometimes it might seem as though there's no one there to help us. There's no one available, or people are going to mock us. People are going to laugh at us. People are not going to respect us. We're going to lose our esteem, our rep, and all that. But the truth is, there's a psychological and physiological undertone to your not asking for help. Sometimes your reluctance and your hesitation to ask for help is a mask to something else, some underlying issue, and that's what we want to look at. So you want to reflect on the questions that I will be asking, because they will help you break down barriers. They will help you get clarity as to why you experience hesitation when it's time to show up for yourself. Many people struggle. Many of you struggle with salaries, struggle with your businesses, struggle with negotiation, struggle. And then what happens is you then settle. You settle for what is available. You settle for your current reality. You're not negotiating anymore. You're settling because you don't. I hope my internet is showing up well. I hope you guys can hear me, because I'm seeing notification. Am I loud and clear? That's why I need to have the chat engaged so that I know that everyone is with me. I'm in the chat. Okay, yes. Thank you. Oh, Francisca says, hello, Francisca. She says, when I ask for help, I hesitate most of the time because I feel like I will be inconveniencing the other person. Thank you for sharing, Francisca. Let's continue. But what I want you to know, however, is the majority of the time, it might be your conditioning that might be making you feel that way. We've been conditioned to feel like we don't want to be too much. We shouldn't be seen. We shouldn't be heard. Our own should not be too much. all those projections were programmed into us. And so we're now adults and we're projecting them subconsciously without realizing, and it's affecting us. It's hindering our capacity to shine so brightly. A lot of women, and I'm not saying that men don't experience this, but it's more prevalent with women. Of course, men also have their own experiences around not asking. But let me just say this. Because I have seen it, I have observed it even during coaching and with my interactions with other women. There's a lot of hesitation when it comes to negotiating your worth, negotiating your salary. And that's because as women, we take on too much. You assume too many responsibilities without really asking for the right assistance. Even delegation, many people have had to learn delegation in their adult age. So many people have been told to shut up, to keep their mouths shut, to lower their voices, to not use their voices. And so many people can't really assert their opinions. You see, when you are not confident, when you're not able to speak, to own your voice, when you're not able to confidently represent yourself, that you are shaky. You're not confident in the belief in who you are. I don't want to go into that Miriam Williamson's quotes right now, because that's just what crossed my mind. But when you are not confident, when you're not able to own your voice, you are not confident in the belief in who you are. And so guess what? You will not be definite with your asking. Even to ask for something as little as, oh, please, can you help me do this? Can you help me call this person? Can you help me? You will not be definite with the ask. You will still doubt yourself. Very important, very critical that you take in what I'm trying to share today. Because, and what you don't realize is subliminally, it makes you downplay yourself. You downplay your worth. You undervalue yourself. You subtly undermine your capacity. You find someone says to you, you're such a good accountant. And you're like, really? No, it was just luck. Somebody just helped. You start to make excuses just so that you don't feel, you don't recognize, you don't accept that validation. Or maybe so that it doesn't get in your head. I don't know, but I know that I'm trying to think of the right word to use, right? And then we also have this habit of prioritizing other people. So when people send you compliments, when compliments are being given to you, you deprioritize what is being said to you and place the other person above yourself. And guess what? How about you looking inwards and seeing how that is also showing up in other areas of your life? How about you starting to recognize, how else am I downplaying myself? Is it with my health? Is it with my personal growth? Which other ways? So you've got to see how, and it's not only in our individual lives. And remember at the beginning, I said culturally. Now, there's a systemic, flaw. There's a systemic bias attached to asking as well. Biologically, women already, just by hormonal changes, just by being nurturers, just by being mothers, women, physiologically, psychologically, practically, gender pay, gender inequality, and patriarchy, different things. So you can then now see all these systemic factors coming in, conditioning you even much deeper, holding you back like stronghold and lowering your voice. I want you to listen. I want you to start to think, because the whole essence of you joining me today is to gain increased awareness, is to gain clarity, is to become confident with what you know. Societally, culturally, politically, how much of your voice is being heard? I mean, we saw how a female elected official raised her voice on sexual harassment. And we could see how, socially and our societal stereotypes played out the whole thing. So imagine how many voices will now be hushed based on that particular scenario, that incident. The question you want to be answering right now is, beyond your own personal life, beyond your own personal economy, your own circle of influence, right? Is there, or are there any other way, right, that, you are not advocating for yourself? So you want to start saying, how am I able to, or you want to start thinking, and I would like to see a response. Somebody put in a chat for me. How am I able to advocate for my needs? Your needs could be emotional needs. Your needs could be your financial needs. It could be your career progression. Many people don't want to deal with their emotions. They don't want to come to terms, become present, become conscious of the emotions that, that shows up for them on a daily basis. Your feelings are important. How are you able to advocate for your physiological needs in a way that balances you out? How? Let me see what you have to say. Folami says, fear of being rejected won't make me ask for help. How are you able to? See, and for you to advocate for yourself, advocating is you recognizing yourself and then choosing to stand up for yourself, to speak up, to recognize your needs, your rights, your boundaries, the things that are important for yourself, important to you. And this advocating, this self-advocacy is across every area of your life. So you want to be able to stand up for yourself. You want to be able to advocate for yourself, not just in your career, not just in the workplace. Because if the home front isn't looking good, the workplace will suffer. If your relationships are not serving you, it would impact your productivity. If your energy isn't right, you won't be vibrating at a higher frequency. So you want to check, you want to start to know, how are you expressing your thoughts? How are you setting boundaries? How are you ensuring that when you are asking from a place of alignment? That is what advocacy means. That is what it means to advocate for yourself. So you want to know that your needs, you want to know that your qualifications, the capacities, the abilities that you have, you want to know that they are valid as you are, that you are complete as a person. You want to be able to express yourself clearly, assertively. You want to be able to protect your energy, know your time, and protect your time. You hear people say, protect my time, protect my time. Until you become aware of yourself, until you start to advocate for your needs, your emotional needs, you're not going to be able to set boundaries. You're not going to be able to ask, and you're not going to be able to use the power word no. So how are you advocating for yourself? You cannot wake up and start asking if you do not work the muscle. Now, how do you know the muscle to work if you do not build awareness, self-awareness, self-discovery, self-exploration? How do you do all of that? So you want to ask yourself now this question: am I taking full agency of my life? Am I taking ownership of everything, of me as an entity, as a person, as an economy? So that I can then advocate for myself in areas where I have undermined myself. Areas where you have undermined your abilities. You have undervalued yourself. You have underrepresented yourself. I don't know the areas that this may have happened to you, but it's important that you start to Ibukun says, this is so apt. It is sometimes even the fear of being misunderstood, discredited, or dismissed It used to be easier for me to advocate for others than to do same for myself. I'm learning to do better. Thank you so much, Ibukun. You're learning to do better. Thank you for joining, Ibukun. I see you. And that's what I don't know if you joined earlier when I said that we will stand up for other people, but not ourselves. We will help people ask. We will come together. We will even set up GoFundMe for people. But when it comes to our own self, oh, thank you, Ibukun. When it comes to our own self, how are we representing ourselves? How are we confident enough to say, okay, these are my needs and how I want to get them met? Your needs are not only financial needs. They're not only physiological needs. Sorry, psychological needs. They're also physiological needs, right? So that's the essence of this. So if you like, and that's why I'm taking a moment to explain, to start from the start, to start to see where this whole issue of not being able to open our mouths to speak up stems from. Now, imagine yourself in a business. Imagine yourself owning a business, or imagine yourself being an employee, a consultant, an entrepreneur, a coach. You have been working for some time, maybe working for a couple of years. You have been, delivering results. The company is profitable, the business is profitable, and things are going well. If you are a social media person, then maybe your campaigns are going viral, things are looking good. But what's happening to you on the inside is maybe your pay or your income is stagnant. And so internally you are frustrated. You're not able to shift grounds because you're afraid you're afraid that people will say no. People will say your price is too much. People will reject you, or they would consider you greedy and ungrateful. Or maybe you are even one of all those people that will say, the economy is so tough right now, so I'm grateful I at least have a job. There's a word that says where there's casting down, there's lifting up for others. Things could also be better. So for every belief, for every conviction you hold, it can be reframed. There's the flip side to it, which is why at the start I said we should keep an open mind. Because you can be doing so well, but your personal financial reality can be harsh, can be really tough, can make you feel bad in a way that you are struggling with basic things and people wouldn't know, in a way that you are denying yourself basic things. There are some, in financial planning, they tell us that we should focus on our needs, not our wants. But there are some wants that you have that is meant to improve your life quality, the quality of your life. So you want to be able to once in a while be able to go out, to be able to go to the spa, to be able to take time out, isn't it? So when you are not able to do all of that, there's something called under-earning. And I'm going to introduce every one of us to the concept of under-earning. Now, people think that under-earning is when you are not earning enough. But there's also another side to under-earning. There's a psychological and a physiological side to under-earning. You can be under-earning, not necessarily because of low income, but because you're not utilizing your skills and your opportunity, your skills and opportunity in a way that serves you. And because of that, you are now settling. Remember I said settling earlier. You settle for your current condition. You stay in that dysfunction. You stay in that situation because it's much safer than for you to start to project yourself. About someone refusing to send her CV because she didn't want to start all over again. I remember a lady, I read somewhere about a lady who refused to share that, a matured lady who refused to share that she had just gotten her master's degree because she felt that the younger, there are much younger people out there, much younger ladies out there who had gotten their master's degree much earlier than she did. So she can't post it, she can't celebrate her growth. And these are milestones. It's not the master's degree that is the issue. It's not her age that is the issue. It's the mindset. So on the earning, a very powerful concept, right? It's not just about, it isn't just about not making enough money. In fact, on the earning, right, is a major money issue. It's a major challenge with money on the earning. On the earning, right, it's about living in a state of deprivation. Let me break the English down. On the earning, when you are on the earning, right, you are living in a state of lack, in a state of absence. And it's not only money. So for those of you that came here to come and hear patients tell you about money, I'm telling you, I want to tell you about your psychological and your physiological and your emotional and your behavioral relationship with money, because that is what I do with money coaching, right? Deprivation is an insufficiency. It's a lack, and is what makes people accept less than of themselves. You can't fulfill your potential in that state. You cannot advocate for yourself when you consistently feel like there's an absence of something. And so you will then find that your financial growth is being stunted because you cannot move. You are in a state. On the earning and the deprivation that it brings can even stop you from investing in yourself. Because when you don't believe in your worth as a person, right? When you don't believe in your worth as a person, why would you want to take on personal development? Why would you want to start learning new skills when you don't trust that those skills will help you move forward? Why? And guess what? That energy will spill into your relationship. It will spill into your relationship. There's an archetype, the innocent archetype, and that's when I'm talking on money personalities, right? The innocent archetype stays stuck in relationships that don't serve them because they cannot advocate for themselves. So you have a high tolerance of deprivation, emotional lack. You settle in relationships, you settle. And when I say settle, you settle for situations that don't uplift you, that drain you of energy, that don't serve you. I don't want to use deep negative words, but when you stay in relationships that keep you stuck, that don't empower you, then you know what I'm talking about. And then you start telling yourself that it's just a phase. It's just you start to give yourself all those sorts of excuses. And that's where you hear people say that this struggling is normal. It's not normal. We've been conditioned over time from childhood by our environment, by our churches, our religious institution, by our schools, by our leaders. We've been conditioned to tolerate lack. That lack, that insufficiency, that deprivation, that thing you are hearing on social media, when you hear people say, don't normalize suffering, that's what they mean. That's exactly what they mean. What are you normalizing in your life? What are you normalizing? Because opportunities are there for you. And so as I begin to teach on how to ask for more confidently, right, I will be tackling on the earning as a big factor as to why you are unable to ask confidently. Let me quickly share a slide for those that would like to. Can you see my slide? Let me make it full screen. Okay. So you can see my slide, right? Oh, what happened to the slide again? Aqua says yes, she can see the slide. Anyway, let me just carry on first, and then when I want to share the questions, I would, right? So let me go to under earning as it were. So I said that under earning is you earning less than your income, less than your potential, is you settling for lower than the market can pay you. It's under earning is you
Kindly give her a minute. Our network seems to have taken out.
my internet took me out. I think I'm back. I hope you guys can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can
Okay.
hear you.
Just show me grace today. Show me grace today. Let me turn on the second device so that it doesn't go off and just leave me alone. Just a moment. I want to turn on my other, the internet threw that one out as well.
Recording in progress.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to set that one. Let me send a lot of love to my internet today. I'm sending my internet a lot of love. Right. So yeah, so I was saying that it's not so much about you earning how much you earn and all of that, because whether you have a lot, the money you have is relative. Money that is high and much money that is small is relative. You can earn 6 figures, you can earn 7 figures, it doesn't matter. So what it then means is that it's not so much about your bank balance, but more of your attitude. And there's a book that I read on the earning by Barbara Stanning. She said that, and she defined it as under earning is that person that earns less than her potentials, despite her need or her desire to do otherwise. So you're earning less than your potential, you're earning less than your desire, and less than you're earning less than your potential, despite your need or your desire to do otherwise. And a lot of the times you're not even conscious. When you're denying yourself certain things, you're not conscious. It's not only money you deny yourself a lot of things, like I already said. So you want to know that under earning itself, it can happen to anyone. You earning less than your potential. It is about you experiencing a disconnect, a dissociation between your income, your earnings, and your capacity as a person. It is about you starting to recognize your patterns. So I want us to take a moment. Let's take a moment to breathe. I want us to take a moment. I need to also take a moment. So I want us to look at this. Let's have this reflection. I want you to list several ways that you think that you have under-earned in your life. I want you to list several ways you think you have under-earned in your life. I'm going to be looking in the chat. List several ways you think you have under-earned in your life. How do you really feel about being poor, about being wealthy? So you want to think about those sorts of things. How do you feel about being poor, being wealthy? And even if you're thinking, I want to increase my income, What do you want to increase your income to? And why do you want to increase your income? So I want to increase my income because what is that thing? Is anyone willing to share? Is anyone willing to share a way that they think that they may have been under earning in their lives? I'm looking in the chat and I'm hoping to find someone that would, and even if you would love to make money, what do you think is stopping you from making more money? What do you think is stopping you from making more money? So assuming you have thought about the different ways you may have under-earned in your life, what do you think is stopping you from making more money? Hawa says, I'm worthy of the good life. Ibukun says comparison. Keep it coming, guys. Let me quickly keep it coming. Giselle, is it Giselle? Giselle says, let me see it here. Can you help me with your name? Sorry, I don't want to murder it. I want to be able to call that name very well. She says the fear of the unknown. Can you help me with your name?
Okay, that's Gisela.
Gisela.
Good evening.
Good evening. Is it Gisela you
Yes,
said?
Gisela.
Oh, thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
Gisela.
Thank you. Thank you. Not asking for help. Not asking for help. Thank you. Thank you. Tosan says not asking for help. So what's not working in your life? What's not working? Mine is self-doubt. Hawa says mine is self-doubt. So what's not working? What's not working? And if you wanted to increase your income, what would be the reason? Because sometimes we say we want to increase our income, but we don't give ourselves enough reasons why we should do it. So money needs a why, right? Mine is taking risk. So the reason I'm waiting is because I want everybody to be able to interact with this, be able to think about this. It's not enough to answer this. It's not enough to sit here if we're not going to be getting awareness. We're not going to be causing ourselves to find ways to take small and significant actions, right? So it's very important that we pay attention to this, right? Now, so let me show you the different ways that under-earning shows up for many people. When you find yourself earning less than many people with similar skills and experiences, that is under-earning. When you are uncomfortable to speak up and to ask for better opportunities for yourself, that is under-earning. When you are struggling consistently to meet your basic needs, that is under-earning. When you're avoiding finance, so I said that under-earning itself is a major, so we don't know that these are the terms for these things, right? But that's what it is. When you're underutilizing your skills, you're under-earning consistently. So it's not just it's not the money, it's the mindset. It's what you tolerate. And that's what I want to point out here. So people say, oh, I'm stuck, I feel powerless. Michelle says, I'm tired of living paycheck to paycheck. That's why I'd like to increase my income. Absolutely. So when you hear people say, I'm feeling stuck, I'm feeling powerless, what do you think is going on with them? We all feel stuck many times, yes. But there's this set of people that we know that talk as if they have no control of their lives, no control of their financial situation. And so you hear things like, there's nothing I can do about this. That's just the way life is. No, that is you giving your power away. That is you not taking responsibility, taking agency for yourself, right? So when you are blaming circumstances, things that have happened to you, when you are blaming other people for your situation, when you're waiting for someone else to come and rescue you, you don't know it, but you're undermining yourself. That is a characteristics of someone that is potentially projecting on the earning right there. When you're undercharging your skills, offering your work for free. Now, there are so many times that we would have to offer, ourselves, project our, maybe we're doing presentations, we're doing marketing and all that. But when you are consistently undercharging your skills because you don't believe that you are worth more, you don't believe that that thing deserves more money, you are struggling to price yourself, you're feeling guilty about what you even know. That is a characteristics of under-earning. People avoid challenges, right? And sometimes we don't own up to those challenges. That's okay. But under-earners avoid challenges that can help them grow financially. So what happens is, when these challenges come, you resist them, you sabotage them, because you would rather stay in your comfort zone. You'd rather not move. You'd rather not send your CV. You'd rather not take that professional training, that professional exam. You'd rather not speak up. You'd rather stay stuck in the relationship. You'd rather not stand up for yourself. You'd rather look, all those sorts of things. And what does our body want? What does our subconscious mind want? It wants to keep us safe. So anything that protects us gives us a semblance of safety. But to what extent is it, and how is it showing up? So how is this showing up? What's going on today? I don't even know. Why is it saying recording stop, recording in progress? Anyways, today is special. So when you're finding ways, another way that under-earners, lose themselves as well is through sabotage, right? They somehow find something to buy, find one business to do, find one wrong relationship to get into that will make them lose money. There's one investment, one Ponzi, one product, one business idea that will make them lose money. Or they stay in situations that don't pay. These are ways that under-earners lose money. And then I remember at the start, Ibukun says she used to prioritize other people. When you're prioritizing everyone's needs beyond yours, above yours, you are ignoring your own. And that is a trait of a martyr. You stay in other people's drama, other people's business. You give too much of yourself. So much so that you are now drained, you are now depleted, and you're not able to stand up for yourself. So you are stuck in a cycle. That is a trait of an under-earner. And financially, under-earners, and the common one that is when you are living paycheck to paycheck, you're drowning in debt, feeling like you are in one financial situation or trouble or drama or the other, without seeing any result, without seeing any light. That is the popular one. But the ones that are underlying, the ones I want to point out here for those of you that are listening today is when you are avoiding all these money conversations, when fear is overruling your life, and fear is a projection. So when you are projecting that fear of failure, fear of success, fear of every time something comes up, every time an opportunity comes up, you are afraid. You're thinking of the fear. People will judge me. People will say people will say I'm not focused. You are constantly thinking about what people would think and do. That is a trait. That is a pattern. That is how the cycle of under-earning stays in your life. Does any of this resonate with any of you? Temitope says getting stuck in a place and struggling to move to a new thing. That is one of it. Does any of this resonate with you? What are some of the ways people unknowingly underprice themselves? What are some of the ways that you unknowingly underprice yourself? What are those ways? So this is where asking these questions come in. This is where you start to think, right? Because asking for more means that you have to recognize the patterns that are stopping you from asking. You have to start thinking about the changes that you need to make. At the start, I was talking about the different ways that people earn. I talked about how culture, and many of us here, for those of us here that live in Nigeria, then we know how the culture affects us, how we have been conditioned. Ibukun says, even beyond money, settling for less than one deserves in different areas of life. Absolutely. Our culture projects, or our culture expects us to be humble. So we are expected to show traits of humility. And that humility is now making people not project their price, themselves properly. You ask someone, how much do you earn? Or sorry, how much do you want? Any amount you have, they're not able to ascertain what they want to charge, right? The culture makes you be grateful for what you have. Culture and then the religion makes you feel guilty about money. So there's so much that is a cause of under-earning that is even beyond your own control. And many of these conditionings, right, they're from your childhood. And that's why you are sabotaging and you don't even know it. We've been conditioned, many people have been conditioned to play small. Don't be too big. Don't be too loud. Don't be too ambitious. Don't be too materialistic. Don't be too greedy. Don't ask for too much. Don't talk about money openly. Don't. How many don'ts? How many don'ts have we had? Let's do a little exercise. Let's do a little exercise. Thought I saved that. I want to share the slide. I don't know why it's not. Just give me a moment. Today is special, so just bear with me, okay? Let me. Just want to share the slides, and then okay. So is it my internet that is not allowing it to share properly or what? Okay. Okay. It should work. Finally. Is it showing now? Oh, finally. I hope you guys can now see what I want to share.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, thank you. Today is special, guys, so just stay with me, okay? Oh, don't steal the show. Don't dress too fine. Ibukun, you are still on this. Just stay with me, okay? So I want us to do a little reflection exercise, right? Before you can confidently start to ask for more, you have to identify what is holding you back. And so let us start this way. I've put the questions there, so I'm going to read it out so that, for those of you that, need to see a slide or something. I actually do have a slide, but my network today has been awesome. That's why the network is trying to get me flustered, but I'm rising above it. All right, so now I want us to start with step one, recognizing our limiting beliefs. I want us to think about the messages that we heard growing up about money and success. Because your inability to ask for more is not that you don't know how to open your mouth. It's not that the words won't come out. It's not that you don't know what to say. And it's not that the people are not out there. It's because we've not positioned ourselves. We have not worked the muscle. We haven't learned how to. So think about the things that you heard. What were the messages about money you were taught growing up? Did you learn that, for some of us, we learned that money does not grow on trees. Money is scarce, right? But think about it. You want to know why your relationship with money is the way it is? Then these are the sorts of questions you have to come to terms with. These are ways that you start your reflection, right? Did you grow up thinking that rich people were special? For someone like me now, I had this, I don't know where, but I know that I had this impression that the people that were rich, they were special during growing up. And then we used to live in streets where if you owned your own compound, your own big house, you are rich, you know? And if your family didn't have that house, then it means your lineage, you people are poor. And then did any of you hear that rich people are not godly? How are those beliefs showing up for you? Ibukun says hearing some people called rich already makes one think that one is not rich. How is it showing up for you today? How are you relating with successful people? How are you relating with successful people? How are you showing up? How is it affecting your ability to set your own prices, to negotiate for yourself? How do you feel when you are discussing your salary or your pricing? Do you feel nervous? Do you feel confident? Do you feel guilty? Do you feel uncomfortable? Or do you feel empowered, gingered? So who's going to share for us? Who's going to think about these things and let us know? It's all about the mindset. Absolutely, Emeka. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining us. It's all about the mindset. So what are the beliefs about money and earnings that is holding you back? Or which ones have held you back? I want someone to share. Anyone cares to share or put in the chat for us? What are those beliefs about money that is holding you back? How do you feel when you hear? Because, and you can just start by writing just one thought that crosses your mind. So you don't have to have the answer to everything. But when you get that thought, sit with the thoughts, sit with the word, and then try to trace where it actually came from. Because everything comes from somewhere. So you want to trace where it's coming from. It's not enough to have the thoughts. You also need to now say, okay, where am I getting it from? Because until you identify it, you cannot change it. And that's it. Earning more is not about only working hard. No, it's about you shifting your beliefs. It's about your mindset. When you shift your beliefs, then you'll be able to ask for more. When you shift your beliefs, you'll be able to ask for more. You'll be able to now know your value. Ahawa says, my relationship with money while growing up was awesome. Never thought there was any reason to be bothered about making money. Temitope says, I feel that some people are good with getting the best. Perhaps it has to do with how they're projecting themselves. Have you considered that? So the thing is, asking for more is a skill and it can be learned. It's something that we can learn. So you have to now start asking yourself, what is the one step or one thing I need to do this week to help myself charge what I want to charge? Or to help myself earn what I want to earn? I'm looking at the comment section and Emeka says, rich people are greedy and corrupt. Believing this can cause subconscious or resistance to becoming wealthy. Absolutely, absolutely. I don't know where you pull this, but yes. As Mayowa says, I was never bothered about money while growing up. But now that you are an adult, are you concerned about money? Are you thinking about money now as an adult? Right? So these are the little things that you want to start to pay attention to. These are the small things, right? So now let's move along. Let's move along. It's for you to start to know all of these things. Now that you know that it is your mindset, it is your attitude, it is the fact that you haven't worked the muscles. What is the mindset block that is holding you back? I like to call mindset blocks strongholds. I call them strongholds. Blocks are strongholds. That's how I see them. But they're actually just thoughts. They are emotions. They are the things that causes or brings resistance to you, okay? To anything you want to do. Then what brings resistance? Then what brings resistance to you? So you want to start asking yourself, what is what are the thoughts? What are the emotions that are creating resistance for me? That are stopping me from the growth that I deserve? And this is the essence of money coaching, is to bring your awareness, because once you know, once you identify, you cannot unknow it. You've known it. It will no longer have power over you. You identify it, you name it, and then you become conscious enough to start to take small but significant actions. It doesn't matter what action. It could be as much as trying to read a book. It could be as much as researching. It could be as much as asking for help, whatever it is. There are causes, there are root causes for why you are unable to ask confidently. One of which is low self-esteem. You doubt yourself. And that self-doubt is preventing you, is causing you to not recognize your true worth. It's causing you to downplay yourself. I talked about fear of success earlier. That fear of asking, right? See, let me tell you something. Some people cannot ask for help because they don't want to hear no. And you know, the word no is a powerful word. It's a full sentence. I'm sure many of you have heard that before, that no is a full sentence. But guess what? No can also be a trigger for people. Yes. See, when you hear, some people, when they hear no, do you know what it does? It can trigger memories. It can trigger trauma for them to start to recall trauma from their childhood. It can begin to bring up attachment issues. Some people have suffered abandonment. Some people have suffered emotional detachments. Some people have unmet needs that no has, because somebody in a position to care for them, somebody in a position to change their lives said no to them. And that's where the fear of asking now stemmed from, and they've not been able to shift that mindset. It has now become a block. What is your trigger? That is what this awareness is for. That's what it's for. Now, what about imposter syndrome? Where you feel that other people's qualifications, other people know better than you, or other people do better than you. Where you feel that you are not deserving because you are doubting your own abilities. You are reluctant because you don't feel good enough. So that's where now understanding the concept of enough in your own life comes into play for you. Because with imposter syndrome, you will prepare, you will redraft, you will draft, do the redraft again, correct, do all of that, but you will still not be satisfied. And that will show up also in your finances. Because you will doubt your capacity, you will doubt your worth, you will doubt the qualification you even have, you will doubt the experiences. And so some people now stay in learning mode. You find that you are taking certifications upon certifications. And how are those certifications generating income for you? That it's a scarcity mentality. It's a scarcity mentality. So I want you to take a moment to now start to think, which of the mindset blocks affects you the most? Which of them causes you to see money as a stress, as a source of stress? Which of them makes under-earning prevalent in your life? Is it guilt about not knowing much about finances or financial management? Because whether you accept it or not, the stress that money causes, the financial stress, can drain you, can make you lose vitality in life. You will not have energy for the right things, for the things that, for productive things that will move you forward. Unresolved trauma is another thing. So you want to start to check how you're thinking. You want to start to recognize how all of this is showing up. And for women, remember at the start, I talked about gender. I talked about how the culture, how our society, how the disparity in our gender, just being a woman, already affects you. Biologically, if you're in your childbearing age, then you have to respect that season. Your earning capacity will be halted. But how about now trying to come back? Some women struggle to come back to employment or to jobs because they feel that they are not worthy, or they feel that their peers, their colleagues have left them behind. These are things that affect us. I talked about the martyr archetype earlier. One of the biggest traits of the martyr is perfectionism. That fear of not doing anything right can cause you to under-earn. So and then what you don't know is you sabotage yourself. You sabotage opportunities because you don't trust yourself enough to hand in that work like that, to hand in that draft, to show up for that Zoom call. You don't trust yourself. And then what then happens is you start procrastinating. You start shifting dates, shifting the goalposts. People think that procrastination, because you're procrastinating, it means you are lazy. It's a psychological response to something. So there are underlying issues that needs to be addressed for you to become definite in yourself. I remember Ibuku in the chat, she mentioned comparison. She mentioned comparison, and that's what it is as well. Constantly comparing yourself to others. There will always be people that will be better. There will always be people that would have more. There will always be people that will be financially successful. There will always, but if you take on so much, you start to experience feelings of inadequacy. You start to undermine your own capacity, your own ability. You undermine your confidence. You undervalue yourself. And then guess what? You then become those types of people that are consistently seeking validation from other people. So when you hear people say they are looking for feedback, sometimes that feedback is rooted in low self-esteem. Yes. And sometimes you might be looking for feedbacks or validations through material things. So all of these things are issues that are holding you back from being able to ask in a way that moves you forward, in a way that helps you experience financial growth, financial prosperity, in a way that helps you live with intention. That fear of not being able to negotiate, that is a skill. In fact, I've just recently come into contact with a training where you can learn how to negotiate. So apparently it's a skill set that needs to be developed in high-powered, high-valued situations. And what will that do for you if you're not able to advocate for yourself? You become insecure. You suffer, your job suffer as well. You are stagnant. I read a story about a lady who stayed in the same job position for 10 years because she didn't want to rock the boat. What are you doing in one position for 10 years? No incremental growth in any area of your life. Is it a lack of financial awareness? Those are the questions you want to ask yourself. Is it a lack of financial awareness? Now, enough of all the challenges. Let's move to how we can confidently ask. Let's move to that. Let's see, how can we reprogram our minds, our mindset for financial success? How? The first step is for us to see our ability to speak up as a strength. We have to stop seeing being able to speak up as being confrontational. We have to be open to the concept of collaboration, the concept of exchanging words, exchanging value. As I was preparing for this, I was thinking of stories to share and all. I remember growing up, for me to collect money from my dad, I would have to convince him why I need the item I need the money for. Like the guy would have to be thoroughly convinced. I have to show him I need it before he will give you the money. But he wants to see you negotiate. He wants to see you talk about it. Otherwise, he'll give you less. He's an accountant. So how are you able to approach discussions, conversations around things that are important to you? You must learn how to have hard conversations. These things, you can learn them. You can build the muscles from books. You can build the muscles from coaches, mentoring, from money coaching, whatever. But you should start to see talking, opening your mouth to speak, negotiating, discussing, having hard conversations as something that is healthy. That defensiveness is a ruse, is wash. It's just your subconscious mind protecting you. What is it defending you from? From earning more money to live a better life? Hello. We can have constructive conversations, and if it doesn't lead to where I want it to lead, we can walk away, right? So we want to also be able to reframe no, that word no that triggers you. Remember, I talked about what no is, how no is a powerful word, right? How powerful, how heavy no is. How do you reframe the word no? I've read a bit about some marketers. They say when they hear no, that is when the ginger starts. In fact, in sales, you have to hear multiple no's to get a yes. So you have to get 7 no's to get 1 yes in marketing, in sales and marketing. So no is it should be that stepping stone to a yes. Okay, what do I need to do? What do I need to tweak? If they say no, how do I project myself? How do I present myself in a way that they can see the value? And that's what I was trying to say with my dad. I would then tell him, oh, if I don't buy this, this is what will happen. This is what I will get. This is how do you project yourself in a way that that whoever you are interacting with sees the possibilities, the potential, or the value in that thing, right? And then at some point I mentioned enough. You yourself, there's a lot of work that you need to do in terms of what enough means for you. Money is an exchange of value. So you need to earn money, but you need to learn that asking for more money is not entitlement. It is you asking for money in exchange for the value that you are bringing. I'm doing this webinar now. Some of you are going to reach out. Some of you are already clients. Some of you have taken my master classes. Some other people are going to come in contact with this, and they're going to interact with this. This webinar will eventually go on to meet other people. The recordings will be shared. It would spread. So if you contribute your skills, if you contribute your value, then compensation should come. It's the energy of money. It's how money works, right? So let me share. Okay, I'm still sharing. So let me show you. Let's do another exercise. I think I have another one for you. Yeah. So this one. This would help as well. Okay. So coming up with these things also is just for you to start to think about yourself. Now, let's look at your earning power. Now, you don't have to share this. Many people don't want to share. It's easier for me to ask you, where did you go last night, than for you to tell me what you're worth. But here, we're not here to talk about your bank balance, right? We're here to talk about the patterns, the behaviors, the emotions, the energy that you show up with, and how they're showing up and impacting your financial growth, your financial lives, right? So I want you to take a moment to write down what you think is your top 3 skills and strengths and how they contribute to your success. We remember at the start, I said that we've been conditioned to play small, to downplay our worth, to downplay our achievements. We shouldn't be loud. We've been told not to be loud. Now, loud your skills, loud your strengths to yourself in your notepad, in your writing pad. Think about that achievement that you have had in the past. Think about it. What is that achievement you have had in the past? What value do you think that you can bring? So you start to think about all of these things. Those are the types of things that you are thinking about. And then you start to prepare. What are you asking for? What evidence do you have to support what you're asking for? I was able to pull up examples of some of the ways that you can phrase it. So based on my experiences and contribution, What are those experiences? What are those contributions? Where have you worked? Where have you utilized your experiences? What additional training, professional qualifications, certifications, or what other experiences have you gathered? Or how can you leverage what you were in your previous career with where you are currently? So that you can create a win-win situation for yourself. These are ways you want to be thinking. These are ways that you can ask for more. You can build the muscle to ask for more. I've talked about all the dynamics. I've touched on the emotional. I've touched on the psychological. You can train yourself. Having money conversations is just about you reading more, talking to people more about it, going into communities where finances are being discussed. Practice it and build the confidence. Build it in small ways. I was reading something from Anthony Robbins. He says you want to be a good speaker, then keep speaking and speaking and speaking. Don't keep your mouth shut. You want to do something. How are you practicing it? How are you building the muscles? Right? So now for those of you that have worked on yourselves, or maybe this doesn't apply to you, then take a moment as well to sit back and think about a situation where you've had to discuss money. Think about a situation where you've had to discuss money. What did you negotiate? What were the feelings it brought up for you? What were the feelings it brought up for you? Did it bring up nervousness? Did you feel empowered? Did you leave the meeting feeling empowered? Did you come to that realization that you would need to do something differently, or you would need to take more training? So you see the questions I'm asking, and what you need to do. There are small steps. Nobody's asking you to go and register for one program right now or go and do something in a haste. But it's for you to know. And like I said, once you know, you cannot not know again. You keep knowing, right? So when you thought about those things, or how did you present yourself? What was the outcome of that situation, that discussion? These are the things that you want to think about. And these are the things that I teach. These are ways that, these are one of the ways that you yourself as an individual, as an entrepreneur, can start to own yourself, own your space, charge your worth, earn what you deserve. These are so many ways, but one of the ways is this: start to recognize in the past. Now, emotionally, there might be feelings that might come up. Maybe you can feel uncomfortable about talking, uncomfortable talking about money, uncomfortable asking, these are regular feelings. You've got to recognize them. They're normal feelings. Everybody feels that way. You cannot grow without experiencing all these types of feelings. And that's why I said practicing with conversations, practicing reading, going on YouTube, going on communities, WhatsApp groups where financial information, financial literacy, financial conversations are being held. Start by negotiating small things, harmless conversations. Yes, and that's what, and it's very important, because if you don't, then your emotions will be driving your decisions. And when your emotions are driving, you want to check it. That is when you're not making logical decisions. You are stuck in your past experiences. You are stuck in your fear. You are stuck in your scarcity mindset. You are stuck in your limiting beliefs. So you want to stay in that thinking part of your brain where you are able to make rational decisions. Right? I hope this is making sense to any of you here today. I want to hear in the chat how this has gone for you. What stood out for you? Hawa says validation. I want to hear in the chat what stood out for you. What has stood out for you in this? What has stood out for you? I want to see in the chat, just so I know I'm not talking to myself. What has stood out for you? What do you think that you're going to be doing differently? Let me stop sharing. Anyone cares to share? What do you think you're going to be doing differently? Everything stands out, okay? Anyone cares to share? What do you think you're going to be doing differently? Learning the art of negotiation, okay? Anyone else? Two more people. What do you think you're going to be doing differently? What has stood out for you? There's also your body language, the way you breathe. Some people are drained already, and when you're drained, you cannot charge your worth when you're drained. Mayowa says building my negotiation muscle. I will definitely charge my mindset and never take no for an answer. I hope you'll be open to negotiation, building more capacity. Tosan says louding our skills in a way that projects us properly, right? You also want to check your body language. I'm sure that's where they tell you you have to pay attention to your breathing, your posture, the way you talk, the energy level, and that's where your health comes in. So you see how different aspects of your life come into play. So you are thinking about just your financial life, you're thinking about just work, your career, but you don't know that the way you comport yourself, the way your posture, the way you stand, you present yourself, maintain eye contact, project yourself, the way your financial and your health and well-being, all these things are very, very important, and they impact the way that you show up, and of course the way you earn. Ibukun says, I'm re-evaluating my earnings going forward, no longer minimizing my income sources. Absolutely. I've got many possible earning options. Revaluing my skills. Bukola, it's a good thing you mentioned that. One of the things that we do in money coaching is called life inventory, where we have a session where we then go over everything, your passion, your skills, your strength. So it's like doing a SWOT for your life. But it's very difficult for some people to come out and acknowledge 20 things about their lives that is good. In fact, if you think it's easy, I want you to write down 20 skills for yourself. After this webinar, you can go back and write down 20 skills that you have that you think that is good and is worth that you can monetize. Not just even monetize, you can use to improve your quality of life, right? Because once you know your skills, once you are able to do a life audit, do a life inventory of your skill set, your passion, your capabilities, everything, right? It will be easier for you to know your worth in the marketplace. It will be with confidence. You'll be able to research how much they are paying people. You'll be able to project yourselves, right? Hawa says, hone my skills because I am on the journey of doing that already. My take home here is I am valid and my ideas are valid. Fantastic. The language that we use is very important, very critical. It's important that we start to also know how we project ourselves using words. When they say we should improve our diction, we should start to, it's also part of it. How you project yourself influences also how you earn. There are so many influencers, comedians, stand-up, what do they call the people? MCs. There's so many of them. What are they using? They're using their voices. They're monetizing their voices. So what I want you to do right now is, and I need more people to share. There are quite a few of us still here. Who else hasn't shared? What has stood out for you? What has stood out for you with this? What is the take home? What is the take home for you in this 1 hour, 30 minutes that you've spent with Carew? What is the take home for you in learning how to ask more confidently so that you can unlock your earning potential? What is the take home for you here? What is worthy to note? Or what do you want me to know? What is worthy to note? I want you, don't let me call your names out. I want to see that you are here. Because some people they're stuck. And you don't even know if you are stuck financially, but you just know that there's some sort of feeling stuck in one area of your life. You're feeling it. Or maybe you're just working hard, but you're not earning what you think you're worth. Or maybe it's, like I would say, stronghold, one limiting belief that is holding you back. Or maybe you just feel you're not just good enough, or you just don't have the right qualification. Or maybe you're just afraid that things might not work out. Whatever it is, there is hope. You also have the capacity to earn, to get increased income. I have programs, masterclasses, webinars that I already have that I do annually that help people gain increased awareness. But just in case you're just coming in contact with me, Michelle, I don't know if you can put the link to the money archetype for those people that want to access it. We have the masterclass in March, but there's also opportunity for those that want one-on-one sessions, right? But most importantly, this topic is to help you see how you can unlock your earning potential. And I'm also going to be teaching that in July, I think in July, maybe about 6 weeks from now. I will teach you how to shift your mindset, how to attract wealth naturally in a way that you are not feeling greedy, in a way that you are not feeling any less than you already are. My master classes are not about teaching you about your bank balances. They're about transformation. They're about awareness. Because with me, you get to know that money is not just your bank account. Money is your energy. It is energy. It flows round. And so that the way money flows means that it's open to everyone. So now they say the economy is tough, but there's a part of the economy that is flourishing. So one part might be experiencing stagnancy, but some other parts will be thriving. So how do we key into the parts that are thriving? Temitope says, look inwards, search myself about limiting beliefs, right? Join financial groups, right? We're all connected and everything affects us. Everything affects our energy. And our money responds to those energy. The energy we have in our relationship, the energy we have with our health, how we are also impacts our ability to earn, impacts our capacity to earn our potentials. Very important. And you've got to feel ready to also receive money. So it's not enough to ask. In fact, one of my programs, Know Your Money Vibes, which is going to be helping you also unlock your earning potentials, teaches you the art of giving and receiving. Many people know how to give, but they've not learned the art of receiving. And that's also another way that you experience stagnancy. That is the matter. Giving, and then experiencing burnout. Giving to a state where you start to feel resentful that nobody is giving you in return. So you want to see how you can shift this energy. You want to start to recognize your own strength and your own value. You want to take into recognition your own personal economy. And your personal economy, I mean your own personal finance management. That's what I mean. Right? If you are interested in any of this, I see that the link has been put in the chat for anybody that is interested that would like to be a part of the masterclass that is coming up. It's called Unlock Your Earning Potentials. This masterclass will help you learn how to confidently attract clients. You will be able to say no. You would become aware of your beliefs, obviously. You will become aware. You will see how you are showing up. It's for entrepreneurs, it's for professionals, salary earners, and I've created it for only those that are serious about changing their financial reality, because I have been there myself. I've spent the last 15 years refining myself, shifting my own money biases. And so over the past years, I have been showing and teaching people exactly how to raise their vibration around money. That's what I've been doing. I have been where you are. I've done the work. I'm still even doing the work. So yes, asking for more is a muscle. So I cannot sit here and tell you I'm all righteous. I'm working it, but I'm also in my own process. I'm willing to also be vulnerable enough to show you, to also teach you, so you can also borrow my own belief. So what I will be teaching you is how to unlock your own earning potential, how to increase your income, increase the way that you show up, master your own money mindset. That is the core of what is. Become aware of how your unconscious mind influences your financial reality, how you think, the patterns that you have inherited that you are not conscious of, the emotions that are overruling you, making you overspend, not being able to budget properly, fall into wrong investment scheme, not plan for your retirement, save from January to July and then run out of money in December, or be able to save till December and then blow out the money in January. No, you don't want to blow. You want to consistently earn income. You want to consistently earn income. So you want to be able to visualize and manifest what you're visualizing, isn't it? You want to be clear on your values. You want to be clear. You want to align the desires of your heart with the job that you're doing. Some people leave jobs without finding the money, without getting other jobs, or without creating avenue. I'm going to show you why and how you can stay in a job and still create opportunities for yourself outside of that job that uplifts you, pending when you get the one that will take over, or pending when you elevate yourself. So if you have not created your financial vision, what is stopping you? What is stopping you is not that you don't know financial planning. No, you don't even need to know it. You need to create it, but you need to become aware of what is stopping you. You need to start to think about how money affects you. The way that you project on money, you see money as the cause of a lot of problems. It's not actually the way you think it is. Money is the effect. Some other things are causing those things. And those things that are causing it are rooted in your patterns and your behaviors. Why you are unable to budget, why you are experiencing shame and guilt is not the money. It's something else underlying. It's your inability to ask for more, to project your values, to earn the right job, to have energy to show up, to deal with your procrastination and perfectionism, to deal with your relationship, to remove yourself from situations that are not serving you, to move out of environments that are not, that is it. So if you are interested, it will help you reframe how you think about money. And I encourage you to send us a DM, send me a DM, send me a message, or send me an email, or go to the comment section and let me know, if it's something that you would want. Because for me, it would be my greatest desire to fulfill what I choose, what I love the most, teaching money coaching, teaching and teaching money mindset, and impacting as many people as I possibly can. And that's what I do with my company, the Enlightened Money Coaching Service. I help to liberate minds. I'm liberating mine, okay? So on that journey, I'm helping, I'm empowering, I'm enlightening as many people, as many women who are rising professionally, who are thriving, who are also trying to in their own businesses. People that are approaching midlife crisis, people that are approaching retirement, all that hush-hush, all that taboo that we've placed on money, all those things that have kept us bound, we are bringing them out of the closet, from relationships to marriages to jobs to circumstances, many of all those things. Some of these things have just been programmed, and we are looking at society. So yes, if this is you, by all means, send us an email. Let me type my email in the chat you can send me an email on contact@patiencecarew.com if you'd like to, or if you're watching it on YouTube, you can just send me a private message to connect with me. Okay? When I launch programs, I do it for those that have experienced some form of resistance, for those that are comfortable, for those who are like me, who have experienced internal struggles, who have struggled with the definition of what enough means for them. For those people that are struggling with giving and receiving. So if this is you, then I'm speaking to you. I'm calling you forth. Come and join me. Come and see and learn what I know. My program is going to come up in July, and it's called Unlock Your Earning Potential. Zoom and the internet will not stop us. Guys, thank you so much for all of you that have stayed here today and have endured my connection issues. And thank you so much, everyone, for those of you that have joined. Let me stop the